Hello and welcome to another SuperNEC Basics Help video where we were going to be working with the parameter versus frequency viewer. To begin with, I would like to outline the fact that the impedance plot or imp plot, the efficiency viewer f plot, the coupling viewer CPL plot, and the gain-to-gain ratio viewer are all 2D plotters and they actually work pretty much the same. So we're going to be lumping them all together and hopefully you can figure out how to use them. If you can't, please leave a comment down below and we can work on from there. So to get to the impedance plotter, go to Simulate, View Output, Parameter versus Frequency, select all your frequencies, and you'll see you can get an excitation model. And there you can plot it. So basically all the 2D plotters in SuperNEC are going to have this specific layout with this specific view, and all user interactions with these plotters are going to take place through the menus. So let's run through those. First thing we're going to be working with is the format over here, and you can choose the type of plot from there. The thing you need to note is, remember I mentioned there are 3 types of plotters we can be using, the impedance coupling and the efficiency plotter. Well, the coupling plotter only displays coupling. Surprise, surprise. So if you've worked with the impedance of, for example, transmission lines and such, then you'll actually be pretty happy to see this impedance plotter has a couple of forms. You can do it in the case of complex data. You can convert your actual impedance into admittance, which you often need to do, for example, if you're doing some Smith chart conversions. You can also display it as the reflection coefficient in some cases. And we're going to be having a look at those quickly. So if we go up to Format, Smith Chart, we can change it to Admittance, which is obviously the reflection. You can go, let's just put that back on impedance to start off with. And now we're going to be working with the magnitude display. And this is all going to be versus frequency. So there's our impedance. We have our admittance, which is obviously going to be flipped. We have our reflection coefficient. So you can also calculate the voltage standing wave ratio as a function of frequency. This voltage standing wave ratio is actually not going to be part of the simulation, but it's rather a mathematical calculation based on the characteristic impedance you defined in your input interface. And there you see we have our VSWR displayed. Gain, select Gains Model 1, press Plot. The format options for gains are sort of similar, so you can display the gain at a particular theta. Then you can display the gain ratio, which is obviously going to be comparative to another gain. And this also allows for the front-back plotting of your gain. I'm actually going to be using this gain plot to show you how the mouse buttons work. We're going to be working with specifically 3 mouse buttons. You have the left mouse button, the right mouse button, and the middle mouse button. If your mouse doesn't have a middle mouse button, or you're working on a trackpad, simply simultaneously press the left and right mouse buttons. If you press any of your mouse buttons on the data line, you will insert a triangular marker at the nearest available data point on that line. Each marker will be chronologically numbered in the order in which you've placed them, and they will have the same color as the data line, in our case blue. And there you see we've numbered them and they come displayed chronologically. Now we're going to be viewing the marker legend by going up to Options, Marker Legend, and that will display specific values. To move your marker to a new position, if you want to see a different data point, for example, simply press your left mouse button on the marker and drag it to the nearest point. The marker legend will be updated accordingly. So you can see we can just drag that one over there, for example. To delete a marker, you simply have to right-click on it. SuperNEC will automatically renumber all the remaining markers and update your legend accordingly. Right-click that and you'll see our legend's been updated and our marker number's been updated. To move your actual legend box, you can actually do exactly what we did before, use the left mouse button and drag it. So you can grab it over there, move it over there. It's important to note that there is a default placement of our legend box, top right of the plot. It actually has no built-in functionality to avoid obscuring the data on the plot, but you can move it and I'll be showing you how to delete it in a moment. So you can move it over there and it'll just sort of stick to the sides. So for example, if you'd like to actually edit the text inside your legend, you can just use your left mouse button, middle mouse button to click on it, and you should be able to edit it. But you can also go up to one of these line submenus and go down to the text option, and that'll also allow you to edit it. So I can just edit that, call it first line. Press OK, and it's been updated. And as I mentioned before, when you delete a marker, if you want to delete your legend, just right click. Go Options, and then you can reset your legend like that. So the marker legend actually works pretty identically to the little line legend we've been working with up until now. You can drag it using the right mouse button. And what's actually quite useful about our marker legend is if you'd like an alternative unit, you can use the middle mouse button on the marker legend and it'll switch back and forth. And in the text box, you can actually see how that switch can occur. You can see we're switching back and forth between our alternate values. And the right mouse button will obviously delete that legend from our plot. That's pretty much it with regards to the parameter versus frequency options, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.